Hello, my name is Floyd Caldwell, and this is the third time I've tried to put this message out. And this has happened with the last 3 or 4 messages I put out. I twice or three times I had to do the message. And I laugh at it because that's the enemy trying to prevent this word from coming out. And so I laugh at it, I don't get upset about it. God works it out and he gets his messages out. So the message is, for the third time, it's on one of the verses God talks about. He says, sweet to the mouth and sour to the belly. And then there's sour to the mouth and sweet to the belly. And what he's referring to is these messages that you're receiving out there by people who say they represent God, they're sweet to your mouth. They sound real good. They taste real good. They keep you in a comfort zone, an emotional comfort zone usually. But you see, that stuff that's sweet to your mouth will be sour to your belly because it's not truth. It's not truth, and so if it's not truth, it will be sour to your belly. And what we're talking about, the spirit, if it's sour, if it's sweet to your mouth, it could very well be sour to your belly, to your spirit. On the other hand, we have what is sour to the mouth and sweet to the belly. What that is when people today that have been following things that are outside of his will, when they hear them, they rebel against them because they're sour to their mouth. You see? Because they're so used to soft words, you give them truth against that soft word, which is usually has the commandments of men, the doctrines of men, the traditions of men, and the customs of men cloaked in God's truth, and that's what they present to you. So that's real sweet. But when you receive the sour, you see, that's sour to their mouth because it shakes their faith. And I will make a statement. If I can shake your faith, you had better question your faith because you can't shake mine. Mine is based on what that book says. And if yours is, I can't shake your faith. You will know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't know what I'm talking about and I'm shaking your faith, you need to question your faith. So when you receive that stuff that is sour to your mouth, if you're willing to take a few tastes of it, just open up your mind and hear a different perspective, then you will find that that will be sweet to your belly, sweet to your spirit. You see, he says the whole world is deceived, even the very elect if it was possible. Those who know the Word, those who walk in the Spirit, can see very clearly the difference between right and wrong, up and down, in and out, whatever, good and bad, God and Satan, whatever you want to go, there's only two sides. You see, in this life, sometimes it refers to same things on a topic. He'll bring it up on different tapes. Someone doesn't hear something on it, they might pick it up on the other. Okay, but in this life, when you come to understand that you're not in control of your life, you never were, and you were never intended to be. What you were in control of is your free will and controlling your imagination. But that's what you're in control of. You're in control of your choices. You're not in control of your life, never have been. And those choices you make are based on what you have in your head to make those choices on. Now, if you've been filled full of lies and you're believing those lies, you are making your choices based on lies, based on false information. If you have truth in your head, then you are making your decisions on truth, and that usually shows itself to be the truth. So when you understand that you've never been in control of your life, you've been in control of a choice. You can choose to live on the principles of God, or you can choose to live on the principles outside of God. But understand this. When you live outside the principles of God, there is no way that you can be happy. You can get temporary joy by buying things and doing things and whatever, but it's temporary, okay? You cannot get the joy that you're looking for unless you go to the source of where it is. And so your choices that you're making are usually based on somebody else's truth. When people know the truth, well, then of course you're going to base it on his truth, because you see the fruit of it. If you base it on a fallacy, you will find out that the fruit of it is not what you wanted in the end. It appeared to be nice, it appeared to be sweet, but in the end, it was sour. And that's why you need to know that word, so you understand the principles, because things that look good doesn't mean they are, and things that look bad doesn't mean they are. But if you don't know how to gauge this, then you will get caught in what your flesh will desire, and you'll just go off to that side. And you'll believe the things that you're believing because they feel good. Okay? And again, a lot of things feel good doesn't mean they are good, and usually ends up proving itself in the future. So, I hope you understand. Satan will offer you the sweetest things that your flesh will desire. He will offer you everything that makes you happy. And you see, the things of God will go against that. And if you're following that belief, when you come to the truth of God, there's a collision. Okay? Because then you've got the false doctrine up against true doctrine, and false doctrine can't stand up against it. It's false, it's not real. So people's faith are based on what they have been told all their lives. And this didn't start yesterday, this started thousands of years ago. And so people are following somebody else's truth. And that's a problem. You need to follow your own truth. You need to know why you believe what you believe, not that you believe it. Many people can believe things, but when you know why you believe, that's the difference. And you will only know that by knowing what's in that word. I have other videos that refer to you how to approach that book and find the knowledge that's not written on the page. Okay? And so I hope that you do look into some of the other ones. I would like you to like and share to help get these messages out. And comments, I want positive. They're nice, but I'm really interested in the comments of people who want some questions answered. It's all about clarity. It's not about being right or being wrong in this day. You got to get beyond that. You got to get to clarity. Okay? It's not about accusing people of doing things wrong and things like that when it comes right down to it. It's a matter of getting clarity out to people so that when they believe something, they have a foundation of what they're believing on. Because pretty soon, if you don't have that, you're going to get caught up in what's coming. It's already happening around the world today. I refer to it, what happened in the UN this week. They're still meeting. I mean, there's no peace and safety there. No peace and safety there. They're completely divided now. The line has been drawn in the sand. Here's one thing. This is neat. I'm glad he brought this up. You see, the things in life, they can draw any line in the sand they want. Here's one thing to keep in your heart and remember. God owns the beach, so they can draw that line in the sand wherever they want. Remember who owns the beach and who's in control over it. So with this thing with the UN, we now see the prophecy coming through where Israel is the forefront of the news, and that's what he said would happen in this day. So find some truth. Ask the questions. I look at you straight out. If you tell me you don't believe in God, I can look at you honestly and say that's only because you don't know who he is, because he's misrepresented. You're not hearing about him out there. And I'm not saying everywhere, but majority of places, I will make the statement, and I've made it, is that there's not one church in this area that represents God. Not one. They all teach paganism along with Scripture. There's truth, but there's so much untruth you don't even know what you're believing. You're going along with everybody else. And wide is that road, he says. Wide is the road to destruction, narrow is the road to life. And I cover that on another video to explain to you what he's talking about there. So with that, I want to make this short because long videos, sometimes people won't even click on them. So I'll make them short. I made the point. Check the food you're eating. Because just because it's sweet to your mouth, it could be causing a serious cancer to your spirit. Take the stuff that sounds maybe against what you've been brought up to learn and just see if it makes any more sense than what you're walking around believing now, because there's no foundation on false truth. If you build your house on sand, when the storms of life come at you, you will not have a foundation to stand. But if you build it on the rock of that truth, doesn't matter what comes at you. You know one thing, you're not alone. You know one thing, it's not your battle. You know one thing, that nothing's going to happen to you unless the Father allows it. So no fear, you warriors out there, you soldiers, those who have given yourselves over, it's time to stand up. It's been easy up until this point. Now it's time to stand out, tell the truth, and stand behind it because you know you can. And count on Him. Don't do it on your own. Don't you walk out into that world on your own. You walk out under His directions. You have the conversations He brings you to. You share the word as He puts it through you at the time He's putting it through you. And no, it's got nothing to do with you. It's not what we do for Him. It's what He does through us for His glory. With that, God bless. And I hope you're walking under His wings. Talk to you next time.